KD and R.S.I. and CFESA, thank you very much for having me here and believing in me to talk on this. Before I start, I'm just curious, has anyone not seen my content on YouTube or LinkedIn? Not. Okay, so a lot of people have. But just to give, I guess, a brief introduction, and can everybody hear me? Am I talking loud enough? Yep. Okay. So, began in the industry back in 1999, my family business. My father started it over 30 years ago, and pretty much held every position in the company. Started breaking boxes, putting parts on shelves, taking parts orders, working with technicians, quoting customers. Was out in the field. I'm 37 now, so I was out in the field, it's been a while, 17 to about 21 is when I was in the field doing technician work. So it's been a while, kind of found my way into the office, but in 2017, my sister and I, through a succession plan, finally became owners of Maliki Parts and Service. Since then, we've kind of taken the reins and shifted the way the company was going and bringing technology to the forefront. We'll talk a little bit about that. Also co-chair of the Industry Trends Committee here at CFESA with Glenn Clark. And YouTuber, content creator now for the industry, something that didn't even know I was passionate about until I started doing it about 2 years ago. And now it's just, it's something that is ingrained in me. I want to keep going, I want to keep doing it. And Maliki Digital is something, just briefly to talk on it, we're building a digital agency within our company to really promote the food equipment service industry, not just my company, the entire industry. And we've already began working with some industry people. We were at the Davisware conference and did some content for them, which you'll be seeing. We did some stuff with Metro, and we have some different things in the works coming up. And also, this is important that I put this here for some of the things I'm going to say. I'm also a son, I'm a brother, I'm a godfather, and I'm a friend. I'm not a father, I don't think. I don't know. I've been to Cancun a long time ago. Things happen. One night. Keep an eye on Maury. So to talk about what I'm doing, the number one thing, and I may be a little repetitive in certain areas, but there's a reason for it. We're connecting. We're a world that we need to connect with each other if we're going to grow. And our industry, a friend of mine who's not here, Jeff from Core, said on one of my videos, this is the biggest little industry I've ever seen. And it's true because we're a niche market, we're a niche industry, we're large, but we know each other. We go to these conferences. I have friendships that I've created over the last decade with so many different people, and the phone, that's where we all are right now, and it's about being yourself, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So when we're connecting, we're out here, we're playing the long game. This is not something that you're going to say, I'm going to try this out for 6 months, I'm going to try this out for a year, and see what happens. This is commitment forever. This is going to have to be part of your business plan going forward. If you're not, my gut suspicion is there's going to be a lot of irrelevant companies coming down the pike in the next decade because you're not investing where all the attention is. And we're talking about bringing new talent to the forefront. Everyone is on their phone. That's where your new talent is. And being invested where the talent is where you want to be too. So on top of that, you want to build a community. If you see me on LinkedIn and you see me on YouTube, I'm doing a video a day. I know not everybody's on Facebook, but I do have a Facebook group and I'm building a community there because it's about connecting the industry as a whole. It's not selfish to say I'm building my company, Maliki Parts and Service. It's about helping to grow the industry as a whole. We all benefit from attracting the new talent and learning new things from each other as we build in the digital world. So, stories. I often say, me and Angel go through and we're looking at different feeds and we're looking at different manufacturers and different people on media, whether it's LinkedIn or Instagram, wherever it is, and everyone is selling. And when you think about these platforms, you're not scrolling through these feeds to be sold to. You're on LinkedIn. Why are you there? You're there to connect with people. You're there to connect with business, maybe get new business and make friends and partnerships with people. You're not looking, when you scroll through and you see a picture of an ice machine with a model number, everyone in this room is going to keep going. So we need to connect with stories. And that's why I mentioned son, brother, all that stuff, because these are things that we all relate to. And it's kind of breaking from the norm of just selling and rather than telling. The people behind the parts, the people behind the service, the people behind the installations, the people running the dispatch, getting in there and seeing, Joe or Tim or whoever's in your warehouse, what they're doing on a daily basis, connecting with that. It's going to change the game in your market going forward versus a company that is in the same market not doing that. Millennials, we're searching. I want to see if you have irrelevant information on your Facebook and irrelevant information on your Instagrams and your YouTubes and your LinkedIn's, you're irrelevant to me. I keep going. And I know Angel, millennial as well, coming up into the workforce, you care about this stuff. So I'm a big proponent of Gary Vee. Does everybody know who Gary Vee is? So if you don't, please go check him out. He will tell you attention is the single most important asset. So I feel I'm here today. I have the honor to be here today because I have attention. 2 years ago, I would have never been invited here to talk about this. I have the attention on LinkedIn. I have the attention on YouTube. CFESA is taking notice. I have a lot of amazing companies just reaching out and saying, hey, love what you're doing. A lot of people want to collaborate. And it's just, it's crucial to gain attention in your market, online, in the digital world, where the world lives. We are in a major culture shift. So I get asked all the time through LinkedIn, how do I get started? Everyone seems to just really overthink it. So the first thing I would say is just make sure you know your platforms, know where you are, kind of like know the room you're in. When you're on LinkedIn, it's business. So the things you might post on LinkedIn, you're never gonna, bring that Facebook kind of mentality to LinkedIn. You're never gonna do that. Instagram is more lighthearted, more entertainment. For me, on my Instagram, you'll kind of see a little bit behind the scenes in my personal life. You'll see, my nephew, you'll see a couple of different things that you would never normally see on LinkedIn. And then YouTube is a place for how-tos and vlogging, showing the ins and outs of what you have going on in your businesses. People want to know. So many people are like, oh, I'm not interesting. Well, you're not interesting to you, but you're interesting to other people. I watch my videos, I'm like, this sucks. I'm like, who's going to care about this? But, the reaction has been so great that it kind of, and once you get that going, once you get that reaction, it starts to feed you. You're like, you know what, we got to do more. We got to do more of this. So knowing your platforms first, and then the equipment, everyone wants to know, what are you using? What cameras are you using? So I wanted to just touch on this. If everyone has an iPhone, you're in the game. iPhone X is great, has amazing quality video. You're in the game, and point, click, and do it. Don't overthink about any expensive stuff in the beginning. So utilizing apps, and I'm not going to go into these apps. If anybody would like to know more about these apps that we use, feel free to DM me or get me on LinkedIn, however you want to. InShot, Adobe Spark, Canva. I use these every single day on all my posts, on all my videos. When you get the videos and you see the words on top and the words on the bottom, these are attention grabbers. These are things that are being done on purpose. There's a science to it. InShot helps you do that. So it's all about getting viewers and audience and building. So these are tools for you to use. And again, I'm happy to show you or give you any insight that I've learned from using these. Just reach out to me on Instagram or LinkedIn or email. And we've evolved. So the camera, in case anybody wants to know, is the Sony A7 III. We use the iPhone, we use the Samsung, and we have a little vlog camera, a Sony RX 100. And if anyone wants to know about this after, again, I'm happy to send you the information. So strategy, content strategy. The things that me and Angel are doing Nothing is by chance. We're very deliberate in the stuff that we're putting out. You know, we have days where we're sitting down and we're storyboarding and we're thinking about, you know, what we want to put out. We're looking at what's working. You know, and through these apps, you can see the analytics. You could see, you know, when you can go to Instagram, you can go to LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a little bit tougher though. But there, you could see YouTube. I mean, you could see their views. You could see how long people are watching. You can get a hold on those numbers. And I wouldn't put too much on those numbers. Really, just using them to see what's working and start pushing out more of that. Because I know a big thing in here is ROI, and I'll talk about that. So in content strategy, it's like, how much should I post? You should be posting every day on every platform with consistency. And for IG stories, I would say 4 times daily you should be posting. Whether you're building a personal brand or your company, to stay relevant in the algorithms, to stay relevant coming up in feeds, to stay relevant trying to build your audience, you need to be in your stories. You need to be hashtagging in your stories, putting locations in your stories. All these little things matter. There's a science to it. And on your wall, Instagram walls, 3 times at least daily. I do my best to do it. You're not always gonna get there. It's, you know, the day gets away from you, but I would say put yourself on track to try to hit these goals. LinkedIn, if you're seeing me on LinkedIn, I'm doing a video a day there. I'm also posting some other pictures or whatever, a couple of videos every now and then. And you want to write articles. If you want to be known as a leader in your industry, and on LinkedIn, LinkedIn rewards people that are writing articles. You become a thought leader, and ultimately, you know, you're going to become a linked influencer at some point, which is what I'm working towards. Which is crucial to building brand and building trust for me going forward and my business. Batching your content. So I get messages sometimes, people I don't even know, hey man, who's running your business? Because they see me putting all these videos out. And I said, well, I'm running my business. People don't realize that we're maybe filming one day and putting together 8, 9, 10, 11 things. Angel's hitting the edit room, we're doing different things, and I'm running my business. I'm there, I'm the day-to-day, I'm in there. So you just kind of have to map it out, plan it out proper, and it all comes together. Don't overthink it. You know, if you don't batch enough, there's always next week, you'll get there. Committing to your story and your brand. So a lot of the stuff you'll see me talking about with me and my company is care. So I have Maliki Cares. And in my company, in my business, we have meetings. The number one thing we continue to talk about is care, care, care. Care is a lot of things. Care equals communication for us, because communication is just the ultimate differentiator, I think, in this business. Because as we know, communicating to our customer, getting back to the rep and the dealer and the manufacturer, it's a task. And we're not going to be perfect, but you know, showing the story and the brand of care throughout my videos and throughout my content is going to continue to build a culture online. It's building a culture in my company with my team, my employees, and getting everybody on board with that. So whatever your story is, whatever your company's values are, you got to commit and do it every single day. Remaining consistent. Consistency is key in everything that's happening here. ROI, another question I get all the time. What's the ROI? ROI is going to be different for everybody. For me, I'm trying to build a personal brand in the business, in the industry. Being here today is a step forward for me in building my personal brand as far as speaking goes, because I've only spoken a couple of times in my career. So this is something that I know I need to do more of, I need to get better at. And so my ROI for my personal brand is going to be opportunities like this. My ROI for my company, you're not going to find it in the analytics and the numbers. You're going to find it in opportunities. You're going to find it in new connections. I have so many new opportunities and connections through LinkedIn that have, I mean, just the manufacturer partnerships that have developed from it. There's been different work and installations that have developed from it on a regular basis at this point, through the weeks, and Angel sees it. So what your ROI is not necessarily going to be the same as my ROI. Now, if you're not looking to build a personal brand and you just really want to focus on your company, that's up to you. Everyone has a different path. There's no right or wrong here. But again, so the ROI, you gotta kind of keep that very, very lightly in this area. And I think any marketer or salesperson will tell you this is a very different way to track what's happening. This is a long-term play in the ROI world. So, and talking about consistency, it's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives, it's what we do consistently. So, I talk with people about staying consistent with what they're doing. We talk about metaphorically, if you go to the gym and you're doing push-ups and you're working out 6 months, a year, and you're looking great, and all of a sudden you stop, what happens? It all goes away. Same thing is going to be true for media. If you're only doing something for 6 months, a year, and you're like, oh, this isn't working, so everything that you've worked for and put in those efforts for the last 6 months to a year, it's going to go away, and you're going to have to start over again. And starting over, you could do it, but it's going to be harder and harder and harder as time goes on. And we're at a place right now, especially with sponsored ads and things of that nature and Facebook, where it's priced right. Everybody could afford it. But once you see like Coca-Cola start going all in and taking their hundreds of millions of dollars and pouring it into these places, into Instagram ads, once you see the big Walmarts or at least really going all in, your $50 that just got across to 10,000 people is going to cost 5 times more. I mean, you're going to be priced out. So right now, over the next 24 months, is solid time to start getting involved in ads and running that. And it's not easy to run the ads. There's a science to it. We're still figuring it out. But man, when you're on Facebook and Instagram, you could pinpoint your audience to right down to everything that you want, to your location, to the person, to where they live, to just everything. And I do recommend maybe in the beginning talking with Facebook. They actually have people that will help you and guide you and show you how to do the ads. But of course, there's YouTube, right? You could YouTube everything. So what should I post? That's another question. A lot of this is from questions I get on a weekly basis. Your business. I just had a woman from the West Coast reach out to me. She's in the industry, and she said, I really want to start doing videos. What do I post? And I said, well, what did you do today? I'm sure you had 15 problems, 15 fires you had to put out. Tell somebody about it. Talk about it. Because chances are everybody in this room has dealt with that, whatever that problem was. And everybody here is going to want to jump in and say, hey, this is what we did. Here's how we would handle it. And you begin to learn and develop a community, and you begin to develop a brand, and you begin to become a thought leader, and your customers are on there. My customers are on LinkedIn. Your customers are on LinkedIn. The manufacturers you work with or the manufacturers you want to work with are on LinkedIn. That is probably the biggest platform for everyone in this room, LinkedIn. I have gone super all in on it, and it's really paying off. So, and then what else to post? Spotlight. If you see my stuff, you'll see that I'm highlighting our technicians. I'm highlighting our office, and we're just scratching the surface. We have a lot planned, really going in depth to riding with them from their homes and early in the morning and taking you through their day and really showing what these men and women are going through on the road. And ultimately, we talk about how do we promote the industry. You're going to be promoting the industry. You're going to be promoting your company. People want to see what this industry is all about. We have hundreds of companies within CFESA that have the opportunity to jump on LinkedIn, jump on YouTube, and talk about their business, talk about their company, talk about what their technicians go through on a daily basis. And then that young guy or girl scrolling eventually is going to come across something, and they're going to see it. And the more we all do it, the bigger the audience that we could all attract. So I'm always trying to get people engaging and commenting and talking for a reason, because I know the engagement is so important. Likes and all that stuff doesn't matter. It's the engagement that we all have with each other that brings all this stuff in the algorithm to the top. and we're going to become much more searchable, friendly, searchable to the people that are looking for this, which are the younger generation, which we're looking for. And if they start seeing what this industry is all about, I spoke in front of a high school, a local high school last May, and when I asked everybody, it was about 60 seniors, I said, who knows about the food equipment service industry? Not one hand went up. Not one. I ended up hiring 2 of those young guys that are working right now as apprentices with our senior guys. They're helping on installations, they're helping on maintenance, and they're coming along. I mean, I lucked out with two really good young guys that they like to fix stuff, they like to work with their hands. And they weren't going to college, and this just happened to work out. It's important. Tips and tricks. Again, this is other stuff to post about. You all have vast knowledge from 29, 39, 49, 50 years in the business. There's things that the people in this room know that needs to be brought to light, and brought to light to your end user customer. You'll often see, I'm saying this to my end user customers, how many times do we go to a call and plug a piece of equipment in and say, here's a $200 bill? Or go and, oh, the pilot's not lighting, the whole line, we go and turn the gas on, here's a $200 bill. We don't want to go on those calls. Those are not profitable calls. So maybe doing some tips and tricks so the people in your market that are searching are going to start pulling up all these tips and tricks, and you're going to become thought leaders. You're going to become influencers in your market, and you're going to build trust with the end user customer. Super important. And I do raw uncut video, 1 takes basically is what that means. Don't worry about editing in the beginning. If you feel you want to hire somebody like Angel to come in and start doing editing and making videos a little bit more professional and everything, that's fine. But doing just raw uncut videos, I mean, it's so simple. And I don't think we realize how powerful that a simple 1.5-minute video can be to building trust, doing it once a day, once a week, and having customers. I mean, I literally got a year ago a customer that was seeing some of my posts, a chain account that we are now servicing. Someone reached out to them and said, hey, you got to check out this guy, Rich, check out his videos. And now we're servicing this chain that, we wanted to work with for so long, and it came through seeing these videos. And then behind the scenes stuff. I think we all like to know what goes on in other people's companies. I would love to see what's going on at CSI. Maybe I'll be in Chicago. I told you I'm gonna probably keep watching. I have TJ Coker coming. People want to see what's going on behind the scenes at Parts. I know Parts Town's doing some different things online now too, but they probably think about the more in-depth things going through that warehouse and showing from inception to the end of the full-on way these parts are shipping out. And it connects you. It connects you more to the customer, and it brings you closer. So value and entertainment, again, this is something you have to think about when you're doing your videos. To sit in front of a camera and just kind of be mundane and boring, it's not gonna attract anybody. So I always try to animate, and I realize I talk with my hands more than I ever knew I did. Now I'm watching myself on camera. It's like a Jersey thing. And it's like I have to put my hands in my pocket. I'm doing it now. But you got to bring value, and you got to bring entertainment value. We have a lot of different things on the pike that we're going to be doing. Just one thing, and it's just one of these things we're saying it might be silly, but we get a lot of this equipment back, and instead before we take it to the scrapyard, we're going to bring in some techs, and we're going to release some stress. We're going to get some sledgehammers, and we're going to beat the hell out of this equipment. So bring some, guys, listen, guys, you had a rough day? Come in. We're going to get sledgehammers. You're going to see us just slamming on these clamshell grills or slamming on these ovens or whatever we're doing. And that's kind of the value side of it, but I'm also going to have some technicians there, and we're going to talk about maybe why we pulled that equipment out and why it's going off to the scrapyard, and giving some insight and some value within the entertainment part of it. So relationships are leverage. If you give value to someone else first, you have the leverage. And I put this here because everything that I'm doing is about relationships. I talk about it all the time, and this is these are things that a lot of you, I'm sure, probably know. And I say, I talk about your network is your net worth. You've heard that before. I just really believe in all that. It's relationships are everything. So when you're going on to LinkedIn and you're talking to new people and connecting with new people, don't come in as the sales guy, the snake oil sales guy, like, hey, my name is so and so. We're the best service maintenance in the East, and this. People don't want that. They're not there to be sold to. You want to build the relationship. Buy them a drink first, and just begin to develop a rapport with somebody. And then, and Gary has a book out called Jab, 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 Right Hook, which is give, and then ask. So give. You need to give when these relationships. Don't look at social media as such a mundane kind of, oh, this is ruining our world kind of place. This is a place that is thriving. It's still developing, and it's not going anywhere. So anybody that is saying, well, this is not the way I had it, this is not the way it was, this is not going away. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you're not thinking about what's next, you're going to be left behind. And we don't want that. So stop. All right, we don't want to be sold to. I know some of this is repetitive, but it's just important to know that when you're getting onto these platforms, talk from your heart, be genuine. Don't talk about things you don't know about, and just give knowledge to the industry, give knowledge to your end user customers, and you'll definitely see an ROI. Just in the relationship aspect, not here to be sold to. So posting daily on all platforms, again, consistency, the long game. You don't want to lose all the work that you're putting in. So you need to be out there, and it's building trust, right? So everything that I'm doing for my personal brand, I want to build trust. I want everyone to know I'm me. I'm a genuine guy. I'm from Jersey. I talk with my hands. I've been in my family business for 20 years. I have a lot of knowledge on the operations of the food equipment service business that we have here, that we have in Jersey, from installations to maintenance to the running on site surveys, and walls aren't even up yet. And I want to talk about all this and building trust, letting the people in your market know that again, it's so crucial. So I said this has to be part of your business model. This has to, whether you hire someone or you find someone within your business or your company that you believe can take the reins on this. Not everybody is going to be, and Jennifer mentioned, not everyone's going to be that person that's going to be the star on the video, but every company has somebody that probably will and that would love to get involved. Technicians, a different story. These guys don't want to be on video. It's tough. Although when you put them on video, then they love it. It's weird, but and how long you're doing this? You're doing this forever. This is it. This is not testing the waters. This is all in status. It's putting all this out again is going to attract new talent, because we talk about the technicians. There's a video that I just recently put out that is kind of I don't know if it's heartfelt, but it's emotional. I was talking about stuff. I don't know if we should play that. Just to kind of show you what I'm talking about as far as how do we get this down.
Tim, can you fix my watch after this?
Finding ways to keep your current employees as happy as they can be. It's super important to me that we build a culture, that we build a company, a family atmosphere here that people want to be here forever. So caring being of the utmost importance across all facets of what we do, caring for each other, and not just employee stuff, but these people have families. I want to make sure that their families are taken care of. I want to make sure that if they want to send their kids to college, that this place is going to offer something to them to give to their kids. And maybe college is for them. Maybe they want to get into the trades. I want me to be here to facilitate the needs of their family. That's ideal. Now we're working on, we're still a small business. I can't offer everything on the the sun. I mean, I want to put scholarship into place. I want to put, when an employee comes to work here, there's just a weight lifted from them. I don't want anyone that works here to ever struggle with a bill. That should not be how it is. The opportunities and the potential could be endless. And that's why we're working so hard every day. And I'm beginning to do sit downs with the employees. I'm beginning to go to lunches, and we're beginning to do more team building things. And just so I can get closer to them, I don't ever want to be so far away as I'm building this, because you see me on different shows and different things, and my role has changed here so drastically because I'm working on the business now. I don't ever want to be so far away where everyone's like, oh, we're just here. He doesn't care, why should we? So I have to make it a point to be here as much as I can, be in the technician space, sit with them. We're going to be doing micro this summer. I want to understand things from their perspective, because in our perspective is reality every single day. To build something where we all feel that way, you got to be close to your people, and you got to see things through your eyes. And just did a sit down just now with one of our senior techs, one of our best guys, and he brought me feedback that blew me away. These guys out here, they're the company. The guys who work for the company. Up in the office, service manager, sales, they're the company. I'm not the company. I'm part of the company. Part of what I do is to put systems and processes in place so these people that come in and dedicate their time to this can sit back and say, Rich is doing his part, we gotta do our part.
So, yeah. Thank you. I need to place a service call with Jennifer Davis. So that video is indirectly a video promoting our company, promoting our trades. We're going to do more of that, more in-depth sit-downs with technicians, and I think I'm sure everybody's spending money on Indeed, Career Builder, Monster, different things like that. I feel that if you're putting stuff like this on your website and you're putting content out like this, it's going to blow Indeed out of the water. Now listen, this is still new for me as well. This is still, the beginning, but the traction is there. People are listening, people are seeing, and I did just acquire a new technician from someone watching my video. Said, I love what you're doing. I want to work for you. So it can happen. It just happened, and that's kind of what this is about. You're building trust. You're putting yourself on the line. You're putting yourself out there, and ultimately, when you're doing that, you're good people, you're good businesses, you're good companies, and you're showing it. People are going to come knocking because they're going to say, "I want to work for you. I want to work there," and this is the ultimate promotion for the business, for the industry, for your company. There's a little bit of selfishness in it, again, because you're building it up, but it's also the industry. So that's really all I have. If anyone has Q&A.
Just curious, when you're posting content on platforms, are you posting the same content on Facebook that you would post on Instagram or LinkedIn? Or are you trying to give variety? Are you posting one thing and solely on that platform and nothing else?
Yeah, every now and then I'll cross promote, but the majority of stuff you're going to see on Instagram is much more. It's quick, and I'm doing things that I would say are really outside the norm of less professional. Just to the effect, like we all know Kanye West is, right? So I have a little thing that I do that says Kanye says. And if you pull a lot of his lyrics, a lot of that stuff pertains to life, and then I kind of give my take on those lyrics as they pertain to my business and my life. I wouldn't put that on LinkedIn. People are not going to be happy to see that. So you got to pick and choose. Like in Facebook, LinkedIn is very business oriented, and on top of that, repurposing content. The stuff that we're doing here today, and we're going to have this video. A year from now, you're going to see it in a different light because we're going to pick a minute or 2 minute here, 3 minute there. I've been repurposing different videos throughout the year. Nobody's going to know any different because 90 days from now, I'm going to be posting something I posted, today, just with different words on top, pulling it in a different context. But you have to be mindful of the platform. You do. Facebook's tough. A lot of people aren't on Facebook. It's got very political. It got all these different things, and I stay away from all of that. I recommend if you're going to be on any of these platforms and you're running a business, don't post anything about Trump or anything that's going on, or religion or any of that stuff, because it's got nothing to do at the end of the day with your brand. So I see people doing it, and it's not good.
How do you handle when you're at a customer's location and like kind of taking the liberty to, you're plugging where you're at, right? I mean, you want people to know who you're taking care of, at the same time, they may have some rules around that. I mean, do you seek permission first? Is it, you just assume that they're going to be cool with it, or how do you?
It's one of those tough situations that we're kind of learning as we're navigating. So if we walk into a chain, we ask the manager on duty, but a lot of times they'll say, nope, it's got to go through corporate first. So we kind of stay out of the chain at this point. In the country clubs, a lot of them have been receptive. Country clubs, hospitals, they've been receptive. It's kind of, you got to kind of know the customer you're walking into. There's been times where we'll call and say, hey, listen, I'm gonna have my media guy with me. Do you mind if we do some filming? We're not trying to, and a lot of times I wouldn't mention where I am, so they don't know. It's just, and I say, listen, it's not about you, it's about my technician, it's about me being here, kind of promoting it. So when you walk in with a camera, it's like a weapon. Everybody's like, whoa, what's that, right? It's.
I was gonna say, I've posted content, installs, stuff like that, and I've never once geotagged or told anybody where I was. I mean, obviously some places you're gonna go to are not going to be to the highest cleanliness standard. So when I've done it, I haven't geotagged.
We service a lot of Checkers, and there was an incident. I don't know if you all remember, there was a video put out in a Checkers restaurant where an employee took the bun, threw it on the floor, wiped it across the floor, put it on the thing, and served it to a customer. So when I went into our Checkers, I wasn't even thinking of that at the time, and they were like, it was like, whoa. They were like, no. They were like, go away. So we got in a little bit of trouble, but so you got to be mindful.
Can I elaborate? So we kind of go by the approach of ask for forgiveness, not for permission, but that's just for the actual taking the footage. After that, then we'll ask for permission once we've edited it and we've shown them, look, we're not trying to slander your business, we're not trying to kind of put you in a negative light. So it's kind of two segments. When we're going in there, we want to get people's genuine reaction and the way people genuinely are. So we're not going to say, hey, we're coming in for a video shoot, unless we have a relationship with that company.
So you give them the private screening first, and then you get a thumbs up.
Right.
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah.
What about on the manufacturer side? Have you gotten, you will highlight certain brands, and are they pretty receptive or okay with that, or do they give you any?
Yeah. There's one in the room that's been very receptive. R.S.I. They definitely reach out, and Sydney has called me and said, hey man, people in Germany are watching. And I'm like, oh, who? Like, so it's been.
Not even kickback on that, or
Not yet.
seeing as how most of us, we have a lot of brands that we represent.
Right.
Do they feel like,
So that's actually a conversation I just had with someone. Going forward in this media-driven world that I'm in, are you going to commit to these certain brands and kind of say we're no longer going to work with you? I want to say no. I don't want that to ever be the case, because the service business is Malachi Partner Service is the business. It's the machine. I don't want anything to happen to that. That is the number one thing that takes precedence way over anything I'm doing here. So I have to really be careful as I navigate. Committing to a brand. If I'm committing, like, just say this ice machine versus this manufacturer, this ice machine, I don't want to put all my eggs in a basket with anybody, because that really will limit me to what I want to do here. But it's also going to affect my service business if I'm no longer authorized for so and so and so. And I need to be able to service my customers from beginning of inception of warranty to that. But manufacturers have been receptive. I'm going to be going around NRA. We already have a couple of appointments set up in the booths, so we're going to be doing some interviews with different people, and they'll be highlighting some new stuff they have going on. So it's one of these things where it's so fresh. You just got to navigate it, kind of tread lightly, and see where things go. I'm good. Thank you.
So I posted that on Facebook. So I
Okay.
ran it on Facebook Live. 78 people watch him while I was sitting here.
Wow.
More people than went in the room.